This video is not meant for the general public. It is aimed directly at a certain group of individuals who are currently conducting experiments in an underground facility. A situation that I've been made aware of through remote viewing over a year ago, involving an extraterrestrial being held captive. I will not be divulging locations, countries, organizations, names, for two simple reasons. The first one being, I do not want to break these people's trust should they choose to perhaps seek further guidance from me privately in the future. And secondly, I do not believe in justice. I do not believe in pointing fingers and saying, you shouldn't be doing that, what is going on here, blaming, name-calling. I'm not into such things. However, I do believe in fairness, and this is my aim with this video, is passing information to these people, these facilitators for ease of understanding, who seem to, the best of my abilities and my awareness that's still coming through, have come to a standstill with this situation. Now, if you're not comfortable with themes involving extraterrestrial beings frequenting Earth and such, please skip this video. I am not into fear-mongering. This is not what I'm about. I just generally want to bring insights for this situation to come to a resolve peacefully, amicably, and it's essentially the essence of my message and my aim and my purpose with this video. I'm not getting paid to do this. I have just legitimately been made aware of something that disturbs me, and instead of just pushing it away, I figured that perhaps I could still try to do something about it. And this something has been me interacting on my own with this situation to bring fresh insight for those people who are stuck with this being and don't seem to know what to do moving forward. Now, I will be leaving enough information so if you are involved in this project, you will know exactly what is going on, and it will make sense for you. I had a 20-year career with the Department of National Defense repairing submarines and was also in the military before remembering my own visitations with extraterrestrial beings. It had led to me developing psychic abilities which have since used to familiarize myself with these concepts. Who are these beings in the cosmos? Where do they come from? What is the political status of our Milky Way? What are the rules of engagement when it comes to interplanetary operations? And I wish to bring these skills to the table to help with what is currently going on Earth that we may or may not be aware of. My name is Isabelle, and welcome to the download. Over a year ago, I was shown through remote viewing that there was an extraterrestrial being held captive in an underground facility. He seemed to be about 7-8 feet tall, very wide-browed, stocky being, and his skin was charcoal gray, like graphite, almost like a pencil color, the graphite part of a pencil. And his energy was incredibly mean, highly intelligent, and manipulative, up to no good. I was shocked that there was such a creature here among us here on Earth. It appeared to me that there were facilitators trying to break his spirit, trying to get into his head, and without any success. They're seeing that they were trying to send psychic in the situation to get a reading on him, but this being is so manipulative that it was actually just bamboozle these psychic, and his psychic would come out not quite the same as they went in, perhaps more narcissistic, or there was some personality changes with this individual that try to even get close to this being. Now, mind you, it had been made to my awareness that this being is actually wanted by beings in the cosmos, in our galaxy, who oversees the galactic rules of engagement when it comes to interplanetary operations. And this being, who's being held captive, has crossed and broken a lot of rules here on this planet, And this collective of individual in the galaxy would love to come down and take this being off our hands. So I try to engage with this being to see exactly what kind of manipulative energy and to gain some insight, because from what I could see is the facilitators are at a headstill. They cannot make any progress in whatever they're trying to achieve with this being. They're just hitting a wall, the same wall constantly. And through my own interaction, here's what I discover that could help you take this situation in a completely different direction. First, I went in expecting to be manipulated, so I sat with this extraterrestrial being, and he tried to go after my ego, tried to portray me as someone who was special. And here's the thing. You meet a being like Jesus and you meet him in the astral and he gives you a piece of bread and you're like, wow, Jesus, thank you so much. I feel so special. And he's like, why? It's the exact same piece of bread that I give to everyone. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Like, essentially, you can be unique, but don't be special. We're all equal. That is Jesus. But when you encounter malevolent beings, manipulative, whether you want to call them demons, dark entities, or ETs, or whatever that is, they're different. They come and they can be like, oh, you're special. You come from a different place in the universe who yield a lot of power. You maintain balance and orders, like you're very special. You're not like the rest of these humans. That's demonic because it's trying to split yourself outside of a group. It's creating separation, and separation is the work of the devil. The work of Christ is to be united. So I knew what was happening. I didn't fall for this booty trap, so I went out of the space. And then I decided to revisit it again, wondering what would happen. So I go back a second time. And now this being, he's trying to do some emotional manipulation, trying to dig inside of me, like my worst pain, my biggest fear, and really trying to dig a knife through it, if you say. But I kind of expected something like that would happen as well. So I remained center, did not let myself affected by it, and then I went out. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Did I really beat this individual, or was he playing me all along? And I started seeing a labyrinth in my third eye, and I was like, oh, this being seemingly is trying to offer me a different experiences, which seems very unique. Oh, I'm going to attack your psyche, or I'm going to track your emotionals. What's going to happen next, revealing all of these weak spots about myself, when really that is the trap in itself. It's just the illusion of giving me something different, but it's just hitting me in different direction to keep me distracted from actually getting a reading on him. So once I figured that out, I imagined that I would just go there and be completely stoic. Try not to engage him in any shape or form and just show up there as virgin as possible. And when I came into this space, he sat there and he was already stoic. He was already mimicking the intention of the energies that I wanted to put forward in that meeting, divulging and revealing how manipulative he was and also highly intelligent. He knew for the first moment that I met him and interacted with him that I love a good puzzle, that I love a good challenge, that I like mentally puzzling things, and he offered me that, and he showed me that he was ahead of the game all along. It was just generally leading me on. And you may be wondering, how are they capable of such things? Here's the thing. Extraterrestrial beings aren't just three-dimensional, they're also multidimensional. And when a being from a higher dimension comes in and they look at us, they have more information about us that we can gain about them. And the reason is, dimension, we live in a three-dimensional world, but really it's our consciousness that cannot perceive anything about the third dimension. Because when we do, it challenges us so much that our ego cannot handle it, or our mind cannot handle it. It's too much information for the brain, so we kind of shut it out. So really, if, from a perspective of dimensions being generated and integrated to the degree into which our brain is capable of assimilating it, that means that a being from a higher dimension can process far more information, and this information can compromise, let's say, our auric field. Our auric field is like kilometer wide. A higher dimensional being can look at us. He sees our chakras, he feels into our chakras, and he knows exactly how our mind operates. He knows exactly where we struggled in interpersonal relationships. He knows where our pains and aches are. He knows where our traumas are. And he figures that out within a nanoseconds of us just entering that space. And this is the discrepancies, and this is a shortage that we have when we actually engage with these beings, is to understand that they know far more about us than we do about them. So this is something to take in consideration. So how can we move forward with this situation? And this is where I had another idea. When I first came into the space, I presented myself as a human being, right? I'm just gonna go there with my, my past, my present, and my hopes for the futures. And I goes there and he's hitting me, with that and trying to find ways. But I also remember that I do have a galactic consciousness. And in reality, we can all awaken to our own galactic consciousness by becoming aware of other beings in our galaxies and familiarizing ourselves with the relationships within these beings and what is their history. And this is something that I had been doing for years now. Years. From that, I have learned that there are councils that deals with interplanetary operations. The Council of Seven is one of them. So what I've decided of doing is call this being and say, hey, there's a situation here on Earth. There is this being. What can you actually tell me about this being? In fact, can you come with me into the space so we let this individual know that we actually know what's up? And this is where I found out that this being is actually wanted. He has to be prosecuted for wrongdoing and not respecting the rules of engagement that comes with interplanetary operations. And I could talk long and large about what these are. I've already made another video about this, the rules of engagements, and I can put links in the description box. I don't want to drag this longer than it has to be. But essentially, I've decided to go back into this space, but now as a galactic being, surrounded with galactic powers that have a say and say, hey, listen, we're actually aware of you. We actually know you're wanted. So here's the deal. Like, you can either cooperate or we have these beings with us who would be more than happy to take you off our hands. So when I went in, and not alone this time with this whole galactic support, this is where something very interesting happened, and I would want these facilitators who are dealing with this situation right now to know. That could change not only your approach, but the results that you've been getting. When I went in with this galactic support, this being was super mad. He became very hostile, agitated, almost like when you corner an animal, and he started like being very vile and insulting us as human beings and saying things like humans, how dumb we are, we don't know anything, we're archaic and barbaric and blah, 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 like just really trying to find a way to hurt us, if you say, or hurt our feelings or diminish us. And this is where a light bulb went in, because he was acting like a child, almost like a teenager. And this is the thing, sometimes when we're faced with something that we're not accustomed to, we're used to deal with human beings, and human beings have a certain life expectancy, and we expect people to behave a certain way according to where they are. We don't expect an infant to behave like an adult. And here we are with an extraterrestrial beings, but what is this extraterrestrial being's lifespan? Where is he on his developmental journey? Are we really like dealing with a mature individual, or do we just have an angry teenager that should be treated as such? And or maybe he's an adult, but he's been emotionally stunned or stunned in his development in some ways. And this is the part that I've been guided to share with you if you are involved in this project, is to try to not be distracted with the fact that you're dealing with an outer space being that's far superior and give you so much power to that. But actually really back down to, hey, we're actually all equal here. And this guy's acting like a tumultuous hormonal teenager, and start treating him as such, or at least tweak your approach as such, and you will be getting a different result. Now, I still want to let you know that this being, and reinstate because I've said it, but I want to say it again, make sure that you know that this being is actually wanted in the galaxy to be prosecuted for crimes in a ways that if this being is here on Earth right now, there's probably has been crimes against humanity from this being, and they are structures and groups and council in the galaxy who would love to come here on Earth right now and extract this being and take this being off our hands. And this is another way that I would like to offer my services if you would need help, or you feel you need help in coordinating such thing or facilitating such things, and you're looking for someone to help, I would love to offer you my services. I would be more than happy to sign NDAs, because maybe the world don't need to know about this. As long as the trash gets out, I don't care. Perhaps the people and the citizen have the rights to raise their children without worrying about such things and having them down on them. Or perhaps there is a actual interest in that. I don't know how this video is going to perform. But in any cases, if you need help, I would love to offer my help to you. Again, I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for fortune. I'm just looking at a situation that I cannot personally just come aware of and not do anything about it. But then again, we're all Team Earth. I'm not going to be forcing my will either. All I can do is offer. Like, if you are involved in these projects, like, do you actually need my help? You can reach me, thedownload8@gmail.com. Here's my address. And please feel free to do so. No, I will not rat you out to the public. We can make agreements. But I really just would love to have an opportunity to bring fairness, to bring balance back into a situation that, from me, really needs it. Nothing more, nothing less. If you are awakening to your own galactic consciousness and you wish to receive help with integration, I also have sessions available. All of my metaphysical services are donation-based. I do not feel it's something that is right for me to capitalize on, especially when we're in an age with the internet where everything is so international and not everyone has the same means of paying per se. And I wouldn't want that to get in the way of people exploring themselves or receiving the help that they feel that they need, especially when it comes to that, because it can be difficult to do on your own. So this is all I have for you today. I hope you find it informative. I hope it's going to reach the people it needs to reach. And until then, thank you very much for watching. My name is Isabelle, and enjoy the rest of your day.